When a woman never texts you first, remember this. Her silence is not an accident. It's a message she sends without typing a single word. And the way you respond to that silence will decide something important. Whether she starts to see your value or slowly starts to... I'll break down exactly what to do when she never texts first. And I promise you this. If you listen till the end, you won't just understand her behavior. You'll understand yourself a whole lot better too. Let's begin. First, stop chasing what isn't coming towards you. When a woman never texts you first, most men do something without even noticing it. They start chasing harder. They think effort is the problem, so they add more messages, more calls, more checking in, more energy. And suddenly they're trying so hard that the whole connection becomes one-sided without them realizing it. You might not say it out loud, but deep down you know this truth. You've felt that sinking feeling when you've sent the fourth message in a row and she still hasn't replied. You feel it when you keep reaching out, and the only time you hear from her is when you start the conversation. That's the moment you need to pause, because here's the harsh part. Every time you chase someone who isn't coming toward you, you make their lack of effort look acceptable. You normalize the silence. You tell her without saying anything, "It's okay, I'll carry this." You don't have to. And once you train someone to expect effort from you without giving it back, the whole thing loses its balance. Think about it like giving free drinks at a cafe. The first day, your customers are excited. The second day, they return because it feels good. But after a week or two, they stop saying thank you. They stop appreciating it. They expect it. Not because they're evil, but because that's how humans work. When something feels guaranteed, it stops feeling special. Your attention is no different. When you pour it out freely, even when she gives nothing, it loses value. And this is where men usually mess up. They think pressing harder will finally make her see their worth. But you can't force value into someone's mind by overgiving. Value grows when you stop filling every gap, when you let silence sit, when you stop rewarding behavior that doesn't match your effort. Instead of chasing, try doing nothing. Just let the space breathe. Let the silence hang. Let her see the difference when you're not the one starting everything. And yes, it feels uncomfortable at first. You feel like you're losing control. But what you're actually doing is regaining dignity. When you stop chasing, you stop begging someone to notice you. You stop handing them the upper hand. You let things balance themselves naturally. And here's the surprising part. Your silence speaks louder than your words ever did. When she's used to you messaging first, and suddenly you stop, she can't ignore it. Even if she pretends she doesn't care, she feels the shift. She wonders why you're quiet. She thinks about you a little more. She questions what changed. That's when your value rises again. Not because you forced anything, but because you finally stepped back and let things move the way they should. So step one is simple. Stop chasing what isn't coming toward you. Let the silence do what your texting never could. 2, match her energy, not her excuses. A lot of men fall into the trap of giving based on how they feel, while women give based on how they see the situation. You feel something for her, so you act on it. You text because you want to talk. You call because you enjoy hearing her voice. You check in because it feels natural, but she only gives effort when the connection feels balanced for her. This mismatch is where the confusion starts. Matching her energy doesn't mean copying her attitude or acting cold. It means responding with the same level of effort she gives you, not less, not more, just equal. Because when you give more than you receive, you create pressure. You start carrying the whole weight of the relationship. She won't say it, but she feels it. She feels the imbalance. She feels the clinginess. She feels the expectation behind every message you send. And instead of bringing her closer, it pushes her back. Think about dancing. A dance only works when both partners move together. If you take 2 steps forward while she takes 1 step back, you trip. The rhythm breaks, the harmony disappears. That's exactly what happens when you give more effort than she does. The connection becomes a chase instead of a partnership. So what does matching her energy look like? If she texts in the morning, you reply with a warm tone. If she waits hours before replying, don't throw your whole heart into a fast message. If she only talks when you initiate, reduce your initiation. Not to punish her, but to stop carrying something alone. Because when you keep doing the work for both of you, she doesn't get the chance to invest. She doesn't get to feel desire. She doesn't get to feel curiosity. She doesn't get to miss you. Matching her energy removes pressure and replaces it with clarity. If she steps up when you ease off, she's interested. If she doesn't, she's not. It's really that simple. And most men don't get this. They keep doing more, thinking effort will fix everything, but effort only matters when both sides give it. When you match energy, you regain balance. You regain emotional peace. You show confidence without saying a word. You communicate, I'm here, but I'm not carrying this whole thing by myself. Women respect that they're drawn to that. It feels mature. It feels grounded. It feels secure. A man who doesn't beg for attention is a man who gets it. So remember this, don't match her excuses, match her effort. If she wants the connection, she'll meet you halfway. If she doesn't, her silence will tell you long before her words ever will. 3. Take back your emotional control. Every man has lived this moment at least once. You send her a message and suddenly your whole mood depends on whether she replies in 5 minutes or 5 hours. Your stomach tightens. Your thoughts get loud. You keep checking your phone even though you know the screen hasn't changed. And inside, you feel like you're losing control of something you never should have handed away in the first place. This is how emotional dependence begins, not with big actions, but with tiny moments where you let her responses decide how you feel. You feel excited when she replies fast. You feel unsettled when she takes too long. You feel ignored when she doesn't reply at all. And slowly, without even noticing it, your emotions start orbiting around her attention. That's where the real damage happens, not in the silence, but in what you tell yourself during the silence. Women can sense this, even if you don't say a word. They can feel when you're too attached to their replies. They can sense when you're waiting around. They can tell when your whole day depends on them, and nothing pushes a woman away faster than a man who loses himself in her. So how do you take your emotional control back? You shift your attention, not away from her, but back toward yourself. Instead of waiting for replies, you fill your time with things that grow you. Go lift, go read, go work, spend time with friends. Do things that remind you that your life is bigger than her messages. Your world doesn't shrink just because she's slow to respond. The moment you stop obsessing over her replies, something powerful happens. Your self-worth rises. Your mind settles. You feel lighter. You're no longer reacting to her. You're acting from yourself. That shift is noticeable. Women feel it. Suddenly, you're not the overly available guy waiting for a notification. You're the centered guy who has his own life, his own rhythm, his own energy. Here's the funny part. When you stop waiting, she starts wondering, why is he quiet? Is he busy? Did something change? Who has his attention? That's when attraction returns. Not because you played games, but because you finally put yourself first. You stop making her silence bigger than your own life. Emotional control isn't about ignoring her. It's about not losing yourself because of her. It's about being a man who doesn't break inside when someone else pulls back. A woman's interest grows when she sees a man who can stay grounded even when things aren't perfect. So take back your emotional control. Your peace should never depend on someone's reply. 4, let absence do what words cannot. There's something strange about human nature. The more available something is, the less we feel it. And the less we feel it, the less we value it. This is true for things, experiences, and yes, people. If you're always present, always texting, always calling, always reaching out, she never gets a moment to feel you. You become part of the background, familiar, expected, predictable. And nothing kills attraction faster than predictability. The mind needs space to feel desire. It needs silence to feel curiosity. It needs distance to recognize value. That's why absence is powerful, not because it's a trick, but because it restores balance. Let's say you were texting her every morning, wishing her a good day, sending her warmth and care. She'd reply sometimes, other times only with a short message. But every day she got used to your presence. Then suddenly there's no message, no little check-in, no good morning, just silence. That's when her mind wakes up. Even if she pretends to be unbothered, the shift registers. She feels the missing energy. She notices the gap. Questions start forming in her head. Why didn't he text today? Is he upset? Is he tired of me? Did someone else enter his life? This emotional movement is important. It shakes the stillness. It brings her awareness back to you, not because you demanded it, but because you removed yourself long enough for her to notice the difference. Absence doesn't mean ghosting or punishing. It means stepping back to let things breathe. It means creating enough space for her to choose whether she wants to step in. Most men never give women this room. They stay too available, too eager, too present. And when you're always present, it's impossible to be missed. But when you step back, when you allow your presence to fade just a little, she gets to feel something real. Either she reaches out or her silence tells you everything. You won't need explanations or excuses. Silence gives the clearest answers. The beauty of absence is that it always leads to clarity. If she cares, she'll come closer. She'll text, she'll call, she'll show interest. But if she doesn't care, you'll know. And instead of wasting months pushing for attention, you save yourself from emotional exhaustion. Absence also helps you regain power, not dominance, but emotional balance. When you stop trying to stay in someone's mind, you naturally return to your own center. You start thinking clearly again. You stop overthinking her silence. You stop chasing. You stop bending yourself. So let your absence do what words cannot. Presence shows your effort, but absence shows your value. And sometimes the thing you don't say speaks louder than everything you used to send her fifth. Test her interest without asking anything. You can tell how much someone values you not by what they say, but by what they do when you stop doing everything. Most men never give a woman space to show her real intentions because they're too busy filling every empty spot with their own effort. They text first, they ask questions, they start conversations, they check in, they keep the energy alive, and the woman never has a chance to prove whether she even wants it. Testing her interest is not about mind games. It's about truth. It's about stepping back just enough to see whether she moves forward at all. Because if she cares, even a little, she will feel the shift in your energy. She will sense that something changed. Here's how to do it cleanly. Stop being the one who always starts the conversation. Stop giving daily updates. Stop filling her notifications with your presence. Stop planning every meeting, every call, every moment. Just pause, not disappear, just pause, then wait. Not in a desperate way, not in a please text me way, but in a grounded way, a calm way. If she cares, she will reach out. She might send a small message like, "You good?" or "You've been quiet." It might not be deep, but it's effort. That's what you're looking for. Effort. Even a tiny step from her side matters more than 100 steps from your side, because it shows she thinks about you when you're not right there. If she doesn't care, her silence will match yours. Not because you did something wrong, but because she wasn't invested to begin with. That truth hurts, but it's better than confusion. It's better than wasting time. It's better than chasing someone who never intended to choose you. Testing her interest removes illusions. It removes false hope. It removes excuses like she's shy, she's busy, or she's not good at texting. Trust me, if she cares, she'll find a way. It might not be perfect or emotional or long, but it will be something you don't need a speech from her. You don't need deep explanations. Her effort speaks for her. That's why this step is powerful. It forces honesty into the situation without you pushing for it. So step 5 is simple. Stop carrying the whole load. Stop chasing. Stop guessing. Give her space to act. And then believe what she shows you, not what you wish she would show. 6th, raise your standards and don't bend them. At some point, this stops being about her and starts being about you, about what you allow, what you accept, what you tolerate, and what you quietly tell yourself you deserve. Because when a woman never texts you first, but you keep holding on, the real issue isn't her silence, it's your standards. Most men don't struggle because women ignore them. They struggle because they think neglect is better than being alone. They think small crumbs of attention are better than nothing at all. They convince themselves, at least she replies sometimes. But that mindset keeps you trapped. You start lowering your expectations just to keep someone who isn't even meeting you halfway. A man with real standards doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't chase someone who doesn't chase him. He doesn't settle for someone who only gives the minimum. When your standards rise, your whole energy changes. You stop texting women who don't value your time. You stop waiting around. You stop overthinking. You stop explaining your worth through effort. And suddenly something magical happens. The wrong women lose interest and the right ones step closer. High standards don't push good women away. They filter out the ones who were never going to love you the way you deserve. And here's the twist most guys don't understand. Women respect men with standards. A woman may ignore you when you're overly available, but she pays attention when you're selective. When you respect yourself, she feels it. When you stop tolerating inconsistency, she notices. When you finally say, I'm not accepting the bare minimum, the right kind of woman rises to meet you. And yes, raising your standards is scary. It means you may lose people. You may feel alone for a bit, but you won't be empty. You'll feel something deeper. Peace, because you're no longer fighting for someone who doesn't fight for you. A woman who truly wants you won't make you doubt your place. She won't keep you guessing. She won't stay silent while you carry the weight. She'll try. She'll show you. She'll meet you. She'll text first sometimes. She'll call sometimes. She'll put in effort without you pulling it out of her. That's what healthy connection looks like. Two people trying, not one person begging. So the final step is simple. Raise your standards. Don't accept someone who gives effort only when it's convenient. Don't settle for being an option. Don't bend your worth just to keep someone who doesn't value it. Walk in your value and the right ones will walk toward you. So here's the truth, buddy. If she never texts you first, stop taking it as a sign that you're not good enough. Most of the time, it's not about you at all. It's about the effort she chooses to give. And effort is always a choice, never an accident. When you stop chasing, when you match her energy, when you take back your emotional control, when you let absence speak, when you test her interest, and when you raise your standards, you stop begging for love and start attracting respect. If this video opened your eyes, hit subscribe to Brainify On and drop a comment below. Do you think a woman should also text first sometimes? Let's talk in the comments.